So we've got quite a few numbers already, so we'll always start around the 4 minute mark. So we've got 10 seconds before we start going. And I really thank you for all the kind words, guys. I've really appreciate all the Facebook messages, all the emails about Sunday's session. I really hope you found it of value. I know I had so much fun doing it. It's pretty tricky having 3 cameras, but I'm actually going to try to do more of that setup standing up. I really think I prefer standing up. I get a bit more animated and kind of let my energy go a bit more. So, yeah, people saying Sunday was great. Can't wait to speak directly on the phone calls. Exactly, Shelley. I'm so happy for you to be in Mind Mastery. Shelley's going to be speaking with me in a small group of us, twice a month. Like a whole, I don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to be an hour and a half, where we're going to be speaking with each other. I'm going to be answering your questions live when it comes to you being on the phone or online, verbally speaking to me, and then me answering your questions whilst also teaching you everything I'm learning, everything which is changing in my life and how I can help you further. You'll be getting the most advanced stuff that you're ever going to get. You really are. Plus, Shelley's going to get all my confidence program, my happiness unleashed, my anxiety program, every hypnosis title I've ever done, my allergy relief program. Everything I've ever recorded is in Mind Mastery. So that's what she's going to get. So Melissa said, love it. Go, Shelley. So, yeah, really pleased to have you in the group. And also, you're going to get all the guest interviews as well. And you're going to be able to speak to them in person. It's going to be amazing. So that's a minimum of 2 calls a month you're going to get from me. Plus, I'm going to get other people involved, so you get more than that as well. So, and also, you get all the replays if you miss them. So Erin actually said she's got the anxiety program, and she said it's excellent. So yeah, you get the anxiety program in Mind Mastery as well, and it's super, super cool. And by the way, anyone can go into Mind Mastery. Well, I say there are some like little disclaimers I actually put in on the website, because I want you to be really with me in this journey of transforming. So this is going to be really cool. And so there is a small disclaimer. I need you to say pretty much just tick yes, because that's like your own self-assured disclaimer that you're willing to play hard to get the changes you want. You're going to match my enthusiasm, and we're going to make the changes together. So for those who are interested, stick around to the end. I'm going to speak about it so you get more information. But yeah, you're going to have so much fun, Shelley. And for anyone else who's going to be joining, and especially at the price I'm doing it right now, it's crazy cheap compared to what it may be in the future. It's going to be at least double, because I want to make sure I keep the right amount of people. So if you're interested, go to josephclough.info/mind mastery. But I'm not really here to sell you onto that. I'm here to be able to help you and really make the changes. Emily just said, actually, can you get the programs individually? You can do, but they're very expensive on an individual. Sometimes they go up, they're usually about $500 going up to $2,000 depending on the program, because it just gets the results. So that's why I created Mind Mastery, to be able to group things in and have a long-term process with me, a long-term journey, so we can really help each other in that way. So you can do, but to be honest, it's not the most valuable. Anyway, let's get back to the process. Okay, so how to transform your life. A quick recap from yesterday. It was yesterday. We really went deeply into the core issue. So if you remember, we got all the symptoms down. Like I said, if you haven't watched it, please go ahead and watch it after this. You'll love it. But we really got down the symptoms, and then how we want to be different, and then how long we've had the issue, as well as that finding out the real cool intention as to why we have it. And yes, I said cool, because our body is here to protect us. It is just simply misguided. It's completely misguided in the most wonderful way. Is trying to help us, as we discovered. And if you noticed, for those who are there, if not when you do rewatch this or re-listen to it, everyone's issue in the chat box was the same pretty much. The core thing was very similar to everyone, very unique, but very connected. So we really have to get to that core issue. And then I gave you the wonderful, what I believe is wonderful, question to ask yourself, having gone through that process. If you just ask that question randomly without having done the work, having been guided through that hour of free training that I gave you, it's not going to work. But that wonderful question was, what is the belief I have about myself which makes all of this exist? All the things that we put down on a piece of paper, all the things made exist, so we can then get to the core issue, and then we can work on it. And that's where we're really heading to today. We have to get to that core issue, and then we have to know what really has to happen. We have to do the work, because now we've uncovered the issue. We've uncovered the core thing, the identity, the limiting belief, which connects every symptom that we experience, or if not everyone, the majority of them, that will then begin to transform. You see, many people try to work on the symptom. They try to work on what they're experiencing, the feelings that they're experiencing. They try to work on, so let's think of some cool examples. If someone has a driving fear, they try to teach themselves to see driving in a different way, or they try to get into a car a different way. It sounds silly, but people will do that, and to a point it can work. They will try to take drugs or some kind of medical drugs, that's what I really meant to say, to be able to calm themselves down, because they're dealing with the symptom. And that is where most people are going wrong when it comes to personal development, because treating the symptom may relieve the symptom, but it's not going to let go of the core. If we take, it's like, I always say this, it's like if we have a weed in the ground, if we just pluck away the leaf of the weed, the root is still there and it's going to grow up another leaf. And that's what happens with issues. I mean, who here has really been working on the one thing, let it go, make progress on it, and then it either comes back with a vengeance or you develop another symptom? And the reason being, the real why that happens is because we're not dealing with the core issue. And that is why I believe I get my results quickly. And I do not say that to say that I've learned this magical process, because it's just very simple. It's about just finding the core. I'm not intelligent enough to be able to go into all the ins and outs of the psychology, the brain, the neural networks. I just ask people in that field, like in the neurology field, in the drug testing field, people who have been in those industries, the physical practitioners, the doctors and so on. And at the end of the day, we have to deal with the core, the trigger of the issue. And that is why yesterday's live talk was so important if you want to make a change. It is about finding that core limiting belief or the core conflict, because if you change that, you change your capabilities, you change your behaviors, and you absolutely change every way that you act and react in your environment. So what do we do having found the core issue? Well, as I said, we get to work. We know our outcome now, because if we know the core, we usually know the opposite of what we would like to achieve. And especially that's what we were talking about on the live session. So knowing we know the outcome, we've got to take massive and inspired action on our goal. It means investing in time to retrain your mind. If it means investing money, perfect. But it may be investing 10 minutes extra a day to reconnect with your unconscious mind. It can take longer that way, but if you just take time out for yourself, you speak to your unconscious mind and go, look, I appreciate what you've been doing. I understand. I really get you now. And this is how I like you to be different. And here's what I've learned. If we get the learnings, we start to connect with our system, which is running the issue. At the end of the day, if you could let it go, you can't, or you would, sorry. If you cannot let it go, it must mean that there's something else running it, and that's just habitual processes, they're limiting decisions, they're value conflicts, they're limiting beliefs, and it's through past experiences which have led to whether it be a one event or a significant amount of events which lead to the issue. So we have to start reconnecting anew. I mean, ultimately, that's why I created Mind Mastery. But what we have to do is to be able to work with our unconscious mind on a consistent level, whether that be for the next 7 days every day, or whether it be the next 14 days or the next 30 days. Is it worth putting in the time to let go of the issue? Think about this, and there's my prep talk to you, okay? My prep talk for you, because it's important to get the right perspective on our issue, and more importantly, here's where I get passionate, on your life. You are worthy. You may not believe it. You are worthy and good enough, and you have absolutely every resource that you actually need to move yourself from where you are to where you want to be in life. Whether that be in your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, your just contentment, your love for yourself, fulfillment, confidence, all those things. You have the resources inside of you to do that. So that is what I'm really saying to you right now, that if you have had this issue for a period of time, it's very, very rare, unless it's biological, that we come into this world with an issue. It is usually created from day one onwards. So it could be when we were 1 year old, or 1 days old, or 6 years old, 20 years old. It could be last week for you. But there would be a time where we've never had the issue before. Now, you may not remember when you didn't have the issue, because I resonate with that, because I was shy for most of my life, and it was very hard to even try to remember a time when I wasn't. I just felt like I was always like that. I always thought I was a shy person. It became my identity because I had it for so long. So, although that was true, I felt like it was my identity. It felt like I had it forever. The reality is quite different. We are not our behavior. We are not our issue. The issue that we have is a behavior that has been manifest due to a certain amount of things which have happened in our life. Whether it be experience, whether it was that teacher telling you something, whether it was your parents saying something to you, whether it was your boss, whether it was a past partner, whatever it was, something happens in our life usually, and it can create that chain of reaction which develops either a big issue or a small issue which gets worse. That is what I found in the past, but there is a time in our life when we've never had this issue, where it did not exist. There is a time when we didn't have it, and that is, guys, fantastic news. This is why it's fantastic news, because it means you are not broken. You were not born broken. You were not born to have this issue. It was just created because of the events that you went through in life, or the things and decisions that we actually made at an unconscious level. I'm not saying you consciously try to do these things, consciously try to create these things, but our unconscious level, for the resources we had at that moment of a time of our life when we're under stress, our body made a decision. Our unconscious mind made a decision. And that decision then can create habits and belief systems. It can create identity complexes for I am a depressed person, I am phobic of driving, I am unlovable, I am unworthy. Those are identity conflicts, but they were created because of habitual routine of thinking that way, or having a big impacted event which creates that issue. But we are not that, okay guys? We are not our behavior, we are not our issue, we just took that on for whatever reason. For the best of intentions, as I said on yesterday's video, but it is for the best intentions, but that's good news, because if our issue is not us, specifically, but an issue that we have taken on, and you've taken on lots of behaviors in the past, and you've probably let them go as well. And we want to be able to do the same thing, but we are not our issue. We have to position ourselves now and go, look, this is an issue that I've created somehow at an unconscious level because maybe I went through a bad set of events in the past, but that does not have to be my present situation. It does not have to be my future. It might be this reality right now, but this is a temporary thing which can be changed, because there was a time in my life I didn't have it, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make that change. I'm willing to assume responsibility for my emotions, my belief systems, the people in my life, whatever it is. If we have depression, we go ahead and take responsibility for that behavior and work on it until it disappears. And the great news is, if you do it with this type of strategy, you're not replacing things, you are evolving. Many people try to change habits by replacing them with other habits, but that is a very conflicted way of living. That is a very part way of living. So it's where someone like quits smoking and then they go to alcohol, or they go to food, or if they quit alcohol, they go to drugs or whatever it is. It's usually that way. If we have anxiety, if we let go of anxiety, we try to replace it with this false way of being, like trying to do something or trying to create something. It does not work that way. It's not about replacement, guys. This is about evolving ourselves. This is about learning to grow as a person and being your potential, acting upon it as if it's now your time, because your past does not have to be your present situation any longer. And here's the thing, guys, whatever you do in this moment, whatever decisions that you make for yourself, when you invest in yourself to make a change through time, through ideas, through beliefs, through your self-talk, through getting rapport back in your system, when you make that decision, imagine making that decision now, okay? You make that decision that now is the time to change my life, that I refuse to be a behavior. I refuse to be my past. I refuse to be simply a consequence of bad, traumatic stuff in the past. I refuse to be a product of what life has given me. Instead, I'm going to make a decision right now. I'm going to make a decision. Just like the decision to create issues at an unconscious level, but we're doing consciously now. We're consciously manifesting transformation by consciously applying and deciding that our life is worth more than this. And we are refusing to spend more time on our issue. Think about how much energy we are spending being anxious. How much energy we're spending being depressed. How much energy we're spending having a driving phobia. How much time are we spending in talking down to ourselves? We would never treat our best friend like we treat ourselves sometimes. How we begin to berate ourselves and talk ourselves down. So why did you do that? Why am I so stupid? Why does this happen? Those type of communication levels, that kind of way of thinking is not going to cut it anymore, guys. We are here to make a difference. We make that decision. So imagine together, as a team, as a group, we make that decision today that life is going to be different, that we refuse to be our past. In fact, whatever we do right now, things are going to be different. We don't know how to get there yet, but we're going to make things different. We're going to apply maybe what this crazy Joseph is saying, or we're going to apply what this guy said in a book or a podcast or a hypnosis track, or maybe someone who you really look up to in life. You're going to start asking questions. You're going to start learning from that person or those people who inspire you, or the people in your life, or the book that you've just read, whoever it is. Whatever it is or whoever it is, but you're going to start testing these things out. You're going to make that decision. Imagine making that decision that you are going to change, that you're going to refuse to be on the effects side of life. And imagine what it would be like in 2 years' time, having been free of your issue for maybe a year and a half or a year. Maybe it takes a year to change. So what? It's better than having an issue for the next 20, 40, 60 years of your life. So I think you can change a lot quicker than that, by the way. Usually it can take just an hour. Sounds crazy, but they can happen. I work my clients, they can happen. It could take a week, it could take a month, it could take 6 months. But just think, spending that 6 months or a year at the most maybe to get your complete life how you want it in your emotional freedom is going to be far more powerful. Oh, my internet's gone on Facebook. Here we go, we're back on Facebook. I don't know what happened, the internet connection. But I was just saying that the effort and energy to let go of the issue for in the next month, 6 weeks, 6 months, a year is going to be far more empowering to actually get the result that you want, to experience life the way that you want it, compared to keeping the issue, compared to experiencing that emotional drain of the issue. So now we've got the core issue. Like I said, if you haven't listened to it or watched it, please go ahead and do it. It will give you the clarity then to take action on it. And our job is to work on this issue, to take massive inspired action, to learn from it, to reconnect with ourselves and reprogram our mind, to retrain it so our unconscious mind works on our behalf. That is what we have to do. I promise you, if you do this, you will see like the most life-changing experiences. I literally cannot think where I would be if I hadn't let go of my issues and the emotional energy it would have taken from me by having that issue. And I'm so thankful that my dad, and here's a cool story. I was in insurance for a while. And I was meant to be doing these courses and I didn't do them at all. I hated my job. I was anxious. I was worried. I really had no direction. And one day, my dad told me this quite a few years ago, but he didn't tell me at the time. But he found all this coursework that I was meant to have been doing, and it was completely unfilled. It was buried under my bed, and I was just like, I just didn't want to pay attention to it. And then my dad brought it up, said, look, you need to go on the hypnosis course. And I was like, you crazy, Dad, I'm not doing hypnosis. You've been trying to do hypnosis on me all this time. I don't want anything to do with it. It's all crazy people on hypnosis courses. It's woo la la stuff. That was my perception. I just seemed to stage hypnosis. But he worked with me and he got me on a hypnosis course, and I started to work on myself. I started to invest in myself. I started to be coached by my dad. And if it wasn't for him, I would not have been in this situation right now. And I'm so blessed and full of gratitude that I am speaking to all the people that I'm speaking to online. And I'm in front of you guys right now. And I've got my podcast out there. I've got my mind mastery. I've got my hypnosis tracks. I've got my health where it wants to be. Yes, I can always improve, and I am. And my finances and all these things have changed dramatically, but it changed because my dad woke me up. He said, look, something's not right here and something has to change. And I had to make that change. I had to do whatever it took to make that change. And for me back then, leaving my home, okay, I was 18 years old, but I hadn't really left home to a far place. And I had this 1 liter Vauxhall Nova. If you're in England, you might remember Vauxhall Novas, and it was in turquoise green, and it was 1 liter. It was so slow. It was like a tin can, and it was such an old car, but it got me to a place called Scarborough, which is about 4, 5, 6 hours away. But I was so lost. I didn't know where I was going, but I took that leap. I took that journey that something had to change, and I was so pleased I did, because if I hadn't positioned myself away from the issue and started to take responsibility, that is when my whole life changed. And there's what I call, when I did another live one a while back, and I called it our shadow. Our shadow, our issues, can be our greatest wake-up calls to live life the way it's meant to be. Those issues that we have, like my issues I experience, the people, the entrepreneurs that I work with, their issues and their wake-up calls, the people I hang around with, their wake-up calls have been the most biggest transformations in our life. And those wake-up calls, those shadows, those issues were the instigating things. Sometimes to go through life and go through stresses sounds really crazy weird, but sometimes it can be the best thing that happens to us, because it makes us wake up. It makes us realize how valuable we are and how passionate we can be, especially once we've made that change. It can be a journey, but if you start to take that massive inspired action, and you now have that clarity from yesterday's call, and you start to find the right people or surround yourself with like-minded people who are on the same mission as you, or to read that book, or to go on that, read that podcast. Read the podcast? You can read the description, I guess. To listen the podcast. Go on a seminar. Invest in yourself in that way. But even if it's in time, you begin to invest that time to just speak to yourself, to connect with your unconscious mind. When you do, you will see the most dramatic changes, and you'll be so thankful to your very own wake-up call. It all happens within you. No one can do this for you. No one could do it for me. No, all my clients or the people I train up, I don't do a thing. I really believe I don't do a thing. I might be the guide. I might give them some ideas. I might speak to their unconscious mind and make that transformation in that way, but they are the instigator. Just like you are the instigator of your change. You are the instigator, the receiver of information around this world, and you can choose to receive different information. You can choose to live life abundantly. So I hope you enjoyed today's audio, if you're listening to this on a podcast very soon, or this video on Facebook and also on Periscope. I really want this to be maybe a motivator for you, to assist you in your transformation. Listen to the last audio video of getting to the core issue, and then do whatever it takes. Take that massive inspired action and surround yourself with people who can support you with that, or with the materials which can help you with that. That is how we make changes. And as always, I know I'm here to support you and to help you in every way. As I said, that's why I created Mind Mastery. So for those people who want help, that is for them. So it's one of those things where, yes, it's not, I don't want everyone on there. I don't want everyone on that. I don't only want the right people. So Derek said, is there a way to talk to me personally? Well, yes, you do speak to me personally on Mind Mastery. So that is how you speak to me one-to-one, or in a small group level, and ask me questions and I help you there. Or you have one-to-one sessions with me, but they're not usually at the right price range for many people. So you're Mind Mastering, absolutely, but it's called Mind Mastery. So Mind Mastery, josephclough.info/Mind Mastery. But it's only for those right people who want to be a part. I want to be a part of a group, just like you probably, who wants to be around people who are the like-minded people, who are all in the same position, wanting to instigate change and to be guided into that. Not everyone wants that, by the way. Some people are happy making those subtle changes, and I embrace that too. That is why I do free work. That's why I do just hypnosis. That's why I do one-to-ones. That's why I do retreats. That's why I do Mind Mastery. But whatever you do, realize this, please, that you do not have to be your issue. You do not have to be your behavior. It's what you do in this moment right now that will make the change. It's what you do here from now on which will instigate that change. So whatever you do, just be gentle on yourself, reconnect with yourself, and take that inspired action. Whatever feels right for you. When it feels like it's the right time for you to make a change, usually it is. For me, when I was young, at 18 years old, when I was in that bad situation, it had to change. It was the right time for me. Something had to change and only I could do it. So that is exactly what we do. Okay, so Nicole said, thank you. Yes, would like to be in the group. Is there a short limit of people who can join? Well, there's no limit right now, but there will be a limit when it's comfortable. The worst case scenario would be that I create 2 groups, so different days for different calls for the different people. So that means we always have a manageable group of people. And also you send your questions in via email if you wanted to. And also, like I said, we got like a support forum on Facebook as well. So you get interaction with my dad, who I just told you about actually. Also Melissa, my wife, who's an entrepreneurial woman business coach, as well as Sarah, who you all should know by now. I'm sure you all have spoken to her in the past. She's absolutely epic at what she does, who's also been trained by Joseph Clough Trainings. So it's like you got a support group on the Facebook. You get every audio program I've ever done. Anxiety, confidence, happiness unleashed, be your potential video seminar, a video course that is, every hypnosis track I've done in day and night form, plus the 2 live audio calls every month, which is ultimately, let's do the maths on that. I can't even think of the maths right now, but 2 times 24. So it is 24. No, yeah, it's 24 calls over the year with me personally to be able to guide you if you even stick for a year. You might have even transformed and got your life exactly where you wanted by them. But that's exactly what you do. And also you get every replay in the future. It's all there for you. Okay, so if you miss a call, it'll be there. Anyway, like I said, I'm not the biggest salesperson in the world. I don't want to sell you on it specifically because you have to be the instigator. At the very least, keep on being here, showing up, getting the education you need, and doing whatever it takes to be the way you want to. Okay, so Angie said, I'm just going to answer a quick question or 2 as well since they come up. I don't want to leave you all hanging. Hey Joseph, when I master my thoughts, which I think I'm at last managing, how can I make them permanent and stop having to battle it? That's a great question. So usually either more support or think about it this way. If you've had negative thoughts, let's just say that example, say you had negative thoughts for a long period of time, it gets not necessarily hardwired, but it takes time. It's been there for so long it becomes a habitual process. Neural networks get more kind of solid. But if you start to make this transformation, which you have, Angie, which I'm so happy for you to do that, that's awesome. As you keep on doing that, the momentum builds. In fact, very soon I'm bringing out a momentum hypnosis thinking hypnosis track. It's actually a video I've done in, I say my studio, it's actually my office, but like a proper video, a hypnosis track for about momentum thinking. So you'll get very, very soon. Okay, so Nicole said, if we cure what is holding a cure was in I can't even think of the word, the things-majigs. What holds us back? Should we keep doing things like group talks, hypnosis sessions? To be honest, if we let go of the issue which is holding us back, there's a really great question, so thank you, Nicole. If we let go of the issue, is it important to keep on doing hypnosis sessions or group things? Okay, like my mastery, that's why I'm presuming you're saying like group talks. To me personally, yes. But it doesn't have to be forever. And some people will be there and be fine. Other people want to get better and better and better. Like to just continually grow. Like for me personally, I'm a part of a few groups. Like it's like Mind Mastery, but they're mastermind groups. I've got one where I am right here. I've got one which I pay a significant amount of money to see someone 3 times a year. As a group, and I get coaching, I get ideas, and it just keeps me learning, it keeps me thinking. So I always like the idea of that, once again, that momentum thinking, that momentum growth. Yes, we can overcome our issue, but wouldn't it be better if we could have even more than that? That is my opinion. That is why I like to keep reading. That is why I like to keep listening to audiobooks. That is why I keep on doing what I'm doing. Is exactly how I want to be. So Derek said, what's the link again to join the group? So I don't know if I can do it on here. I think Melissa's on Periscope. If she is watching me, it will be josephclough.info/mindmastery. There we go. Melissa did it on Periscope. So Melissa is josephclough.info/mindmastery. Not .com. But yes, josephclough.info/mindmastery. So that's my mistake there. So that's what I've got to say today. I hope that's been your motivation of today, starting Monday. Monday is our time to really thrive. So let's put all the things I've said into action. Learn, grow, instigate change, knowing that you're worthy and capable. Many people have the belief that they don't have they think it works for other people, but not themselves. I get that. Try this out. See what happens. So have the most wonderful day, guys. And I thank you also for the wonderful, awesome words. I really appreciate everyone. It just keeps me doing what I'm doing. And I'm so grateful to you, all the listeners out there, all the people watching this. You make my day, guys. I'm so happy I'm surrounding myself with you. Like I said, it keeps us in that nice, cool groove. And I hope to speak to you in person. And by the way, Mind Mastery, the first call is this weekend, this Saturday in person. So if you do want to get involved, you get to speak to me this Saturday. So if not, I will be here live as well, again at 5:30, I'm sure, tomorrow. So have the most wonderful day, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.